commercials and jingles that stand out, short and long-form documentaries crafted to international standards, independent production spaces with full technical support, special coverage for individual and corporate events, a special form of documentaries through our prestige package, Immortals, where we tell your story the way you'd love it, and business support services tailored for small enterprises. SOUQ News TV, powered by FemWatch Limited, also home to the Isle 95.9 FM Lagos and Kasua 99.7 FM Kano, and Emirate News Television Abuja, together forming Africa's trusted media powerhouse. Storytelling, coverage, and connection that matters. SOUQ News TV, your home for business, economy, and development.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, this POS matter don't pass your code. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development where they work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Uyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on top the eye 95.9 FM.
My name is Shino Gbadegeshin. I'm the CEO Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch SOUQ News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching SOUQ News, okay? Stay updated with SOUQ News.
My name is Aton Kene. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching SOUQ News and stay glued to SOUQ News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch SOUQ News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Egypt is a living museum where the past and present come together in a remarkable dance, and it is more than simply a nation. Egypt, which is well known around the world for its pyramids, pharaohs, and the magnificent Nile, is still transforming its rich historical legacy into a vital source of economic expansion and pride in the country. Egypt is a vibrant African country that is leveraging its historical heritage, tourism, the Suez Canal, agriculture, and a growing digital economy to drive its future. Let's start with tourism, which continues to be Egypt's most valuable economic driver. Egypt is home to more than 1/3 of the world's antiquities, and Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, and Alexandria welcome millions of visitors each year. Beyond its aesthetic value, the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Valley of Kings, and the soon-to-open Grand Egyptian Museum serve as economic hubs that support employment, foreign exchange, and Egypt's place on the world cultural map. Egypt has recovered quickly despite international disturbances like the COVID-19 epidemic, with current tourism receipts surpassing $13 billion. However, as visitors all at history, international trade passes via Egypt's Suez Canal, one of the most important sea lanes in the world. The canal is a vital bypass for international commerce, connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea across a distance of 193 kilometers. Suez Canal tolls brings in billions of dollars for Egypt each year, more than $9 billion in 2023 alone, making the canal more than simply a historical site. It is a vital component of international trade. The Suez Canal Economic Zone, a center for commerce, logistics, and industry, was likewise fueled by the canal. Agriculture comes next, especially near the Nile. Important products including wheat, rice, cotton, and dates are grown in the lush Nile Valley and Delta. Citrus fruits, particularly oranges, which are highly sought after in Europe and the Middle East, are among Egypt's biggest exports worldwide. Innovations in irrigation and climate-smart farming are growing, and agriculture still contributes to national food security and rural lives. Infrastructure and energy are also changing quickly. By exporting liquefied natural gas to Europe and other countries, Egypt has established itself as a new energy center in Africa and the Mediterranean. This change includes the Zohr gas field, one of the biggest in the Mediterranean. In addition, Egypt is developing smart cities, high-speed rail, and new administrative capitals, while investing in solar energy through initiatives like the Bendon Solar Park, Africa's largest. Not to be overlooked is Egypt's creative economy. The film industry in Cairo is sometimes referred to as the Hollywood of the Arab world, and pop culture in North Africa and the Middle East has long been influenced by the Egyptian literature, music, and television. Young Egyptian creatives are already establishing new industries such as tech companies and fashion. Thanks to the growth of social media and digital storytelling, Egypt has geopolitical weight due to the advantageous location at the intersection of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Its position as a continental power is further supported by its participation in peacekeeping missions, commercial agreements such as COMESCA and the African Continental Free Commercial Area AFCFTA, and regional diplomacy. However, the way Egypt skillfully combines innovation with tradition is what really makes it stand out. It is one of the few African countries where a more than 5,000-year-old civilization still shapes its economy and reputation outside. Egypt continues to leverage its history to forge a strong and aspirational future, whether it's a software entrepreneur in Cairo, or a relic in a museum, or a ship across the Suez. This is Just Africa, and I am Chike Okolo.
I hail from Lagos State, from Isaleko. My father hailed from the Olumegbo family. I attended my primary, secondary education in Ibadan at the time because my mother was there. But my religious practicing was always done during the holidays at Holy Cross Cathedral. I was working in the sacristy. We used to prepare for the Mass on Saturdays, and we sell the news magazine on Sundays in front of the church. And I remembered fondly that we used to tease a man called Sunday Boku Boku at that time, and he used to run to chase us and throw stones at, how dare you call me Sunday Boku Boku. Those were fun times. Harvests, Corpus Christi. And I was born, raised, baptized, confirmed, married in the Catholic Church. But I got married to Engineer Larry Phillips, who is an Anglican. And I believe that in togetherness of family, it's best we all do things together. So I moved over with him against the doctrine of Catholic Church to the Anglican Church at Marina, where his family belongs and worships. I attended St. Luke's Demonstration School. We used to climb the mango trees, and there was a mixed school. We used to play at during break time. And in my secondary school, it was a Catholic school. And it's for you to be prim and prudish in life, and set you on as a lady. And I got some finesse from there too. And but the most interesting one, and the most that I can call a radical one, because my HSC in Olivet, we tried all sorts there. But it was fun and highly educative too. Sportsmanship was there. And from there, I proceeded abroad for my accountancy. And I was lucky to finish in a record time. And I came back, did my articleship, but married in between. I met my husband abroad, and we came back home, got married in Nigeria. I worked as an accountant with UAC, very proud of the drill professionally that I got from UAC. It had set me on a discipline for working, and I thank God that I had that opportunity, which still helps me today. Apart from the fact that my educational background sets me to be a diversified person in so many professions. And as an accountant, accountancy is the best of all, is the creme de la creme, and I've been able to fulfill my professional exposure in every species of responsibilities that I had opportunity to take upon me. And from UAC, I proceeded to work for the bank. I went to politics. I became a commissioner in Lagos State, served with the present president of Nigeria. And you know how Lagos is. Lagos is like a country to other states. We went through governance. My team, as you can see, I have some of my colleagues in Abuja now. I have Honorable Minister Wali Edu. I have Honorable Minister Dele Alake. I have Honorable Minister Yemi Cardozo, and so forth. And I served in the bank as a director in Keystone. I've been a chairman of so many committees, you can say that again, in different aspects of life, professional, political, social, and currently I'm now the chairman of SOUQ Insurance PLC. When I was growing up, it was so free and enjoyable. We can take off at 11, 12, escort your friends to Bangboshe here. We go and have the Mosa. We go to the stadium. I remember me in my teenage age, I used to go to Nikon Stadium here. We watch so many matches, and I used to be with with those fans, dancing and waving our fans, and bazaars, Easter Mondays, Fela Sports, you name it. It was fun. But Lagos was good for all of us. It was cleaner. It was amazing. Security isn't much to fear, You can just live the way you want. And money and values of life are completely different to what they are today. I was with my grandparents and we had so many tenants and we didn't realize they were tenants. We were all playing together, eating together, and we are still like one family today. But the story is not the same again. I wish one can turn around and change it, but we have all given our kids sheltered life for the fear of unknown. And I think the disadvantage is very grievous. I think first and foremost, God gave me the chance, the opportunities to pass through that in the journey of life. It's not only money that can make you successful in life. I want you together. It's an added support for you if in life you have the opportunities of parents who can financially support you. But at the same time, there are kids who didn't have any financial support and have been successful. So to me, success is about self-determination. I grew up around uncles and aunties who are thoroughly educated, and I've always had it behind my ambition that I must be in that cadre. And thank God the opportunity was there for me and I seized it. And I remember myself telling my kids, when I was abroad, I never lived like my father was a rich man. No. I was behind the desk reading and reading till I got successful. And I passed in record time. First and foremost, I think I'm a people's person. Secondly, my educational background. Thirdly, my pedigree. And you can't be a Lagos person and don't have a bit of intelligence about how you can maneuver yourself, even in the midst of challenges. And I can tell you that boardroom politics, especially when you're a woman, is tough. But when you manage those that you sit around with, eventually, when they see that you're there to work, it has no business and basis for any other thing. I've had issues on boards because I'm female, and I put my foot down. It is the work we are doing. There is no gender sensitivity in this issue. Even in my early days as an accountant, when I head the accounting department, it was even tough at that level because the young accounting class, some of them can be daring to say, how can you talk to me like that? How can you make it? And I'll say, please, what do you mean? We need to get this target work done. So it's the work that is talking. That's nothing to do with whether I'm a man or a woman. So I will like the idea of gender reasonableness to be better played. At least for now, we're not having it at 3 1/3, no. But I guess we are in the region of 20 12%, and it should be better. You give a woman a chance, she will devote her life to it. But I mean, when we have one or two issues from women who have been there, that should not create hurdle or boundary that you say a woman shouldn't cross. No, nobody is perfect in life. And I want to let you know, it's tough for a woman. This men, when it is a woman having a corrective measure to be taken, they do not handle it the way they do for the men. They are in a rush to pack the woman out. You see from what has happened all over the world. So I will still make an appeal that women should be given better chances, better allowances. It's so quick to make a woman a scapegoat, the sacrificial lamb. Let's take it easy. And please, women, when they put you there, make us proud. I should remember the other women coming after me. If I make this trouble now, they turn around and say, this is why we don't give them the chance to get to the top. So you manage the situation, you know? And let us remember that Africa is still barely chauvinistic. It's still a man's world here. We are only trying. So just give us, for now, our required 33.3% as per Beijing recommendation. Having been in politics, there are so many factors that bring you up there. Some sensible, which I would call sensibilities. Some sensitive based, which I would call sensitivity. And some as per geographical distribution. If it's not the turn of your section, your district, there's no way they can put you there. But then sometimes it's the turn of your district, the party supremacy decrees that they don't want to use you. What do? You have to show some resilience as a stable character and do whatever you are given very well. Excel. Somehow, one day, you'll be there. Like Martin Luther King. At the end of that tunnel, I can see the light. Someday, somehow, you get there. I was in tourism shortly, and it's not enough time to propagate the excellence of your work. But in special duties, I give the ministry class. I was able to represent my Lagos State very well. NYC was under me. Proudly, I served. And we ensure that all students that need to go to orientation camp are well registered and got their NYC certificates. It's not about where they put you, it's about what you are able to do in that place. And you do it even to the enviable eye of somebody who believes has the best ministry with a lot of funding and allocation. I'm different in that respect. A hard-working man, a man with a lot of sagacity, a man that is very kind, he has human kindness in his heart, a man that is highly focused. My office was very close to the Roundhouse, and I tell you, I wasn't surprised. And I kept telling everybody, I wasn't surprised he got a clinch that position, because I knew that even when in 99, from the day we stepped in, he's been working towards his election in 2003. So a man like that who is focused, his business is the end of the tunnel. All the distractions you are given, it's not, he doesn't consider it. So don't waste your emotions. You know, when you provoke yourself unnecessarily, and the person you are provoking yourself upon is not even responding on that line, you know you're wasting your time. But he's an astute politician. He knows what to do at every point. And don't try him, because he's a hard knock. And he's easy to forgive. That bit, I don't know how he does it, but it's easy to forgive and move on. He understands politics, maybe from a young age, I don't know, but he seems to have the knack of it at all times. I think that's in the pipeline. I don't have to come here to say that. And even in the insurance company in industry that I am now, I'm propagating that, look, you need to take it easy. Is it at these hard times you want to recapitalize the industry and make life harder? Yes, recapitalize, but not with large gap. You know, the variance should not be too much, because you need to recapitalize so that companies will be solidly based to address financial issues and risk issues that we have in the country today. I studied religion for my A-levels in school. I did divinity. It's not just reading Bible. The interpretation, the history, the analogy, all of that I did. And it has helped to shape me for life. It has molded my conscience to a large extent. What I see in religion today, if I go back to the way I have studied religion, I will say I'm worried. The way we have churches established in this country now, I'm talking of my experience in Lagos State. On the street, you can find 6-8 churches, but there is no school. Education is key. Religion molds the character, the moral values about life. I'm not saying they are all totally condemned, but I think there should be more conferences and seminars to appeal to their conscience. It's one God. And in Lagos, the families, both Christian and Muslims, and the third religion, which is the native religion, we all interact and live together. And usually you find out that all of them talking about this God. I am a Christian. I talk about my God. And I don't denounce anyone in any other religion that faithfully talk about their God. And I don't allow that to affect a lot of decisions that I have to make, and didn't affect a lot of decisions that I had made. The expectation is too high. We are still a developing country. The awareness of covering up your risk is not too much there. In terms of life insurance, in terms of property, people are not still there. People don't cover themselves well enough. They take unnecessary risk. I'm glad Lagos State Governor is saying everybody must have a health insurance now. That, again, would expand the scope of the insurance business. In insurance, there are so many seminars, there are so many conferences that are being put up there now, where the ability to educate the masses, and even the high-ups one, to please insure yourself. And when I say yourself, your life, your property, your children, and see how far it goes. It is important. And you know, in this era of insecurity, it is highly important. Just make sure you insure yourself. And with what the governor had proposed now, definitely Governor Sanwo-Olu did well. Health insurance is key. Health is wealth. First and foremost, inflation all over the world has gone haywire. So it's not peculiar to Nigeria alone. Those who live in the Western world, they're crying hula baloo about the price of petrol, the price of even eggs. So it's not just Nigeria. Let us wake up and see that we're in a global world and everything is intertwined. The issue of the central bank now trying to manage inflation, these are not easy times all over the world. They're not easy times. And when I say we are a developing country, we are still trying very hard. I don't want to say it's sad. It depends on the environment. You know, you can't just bring UAE here into Nigeria. The environment here from inception has not delved too much on tourism. Your tourism is just go on holiday and go back. The beaches are there. And even from day to day, they are trying to redevelop along the beach so that tourist activities can happen. And I'm sure they're still on it. They need tourist attraction where you have every aspect of life when tourists come over. But with the problem of infrastructure that we have in the country, you can't do much tourism for now. It wasn't easy, but as I said, once you try to be a bit methodological about it, then you get by. Because from the days I came back from England, starting a family, working in large corporations, they just ensure that the home front solidly settled. And it wasn't that easy, because you know that I'm talking of almost 40 years back. To be able to excel amidst men, you probably have to do 2 times, 3 times more than them. I'm lucky I have a husband who accepts me being what I am. Because if you have a partner that does not appreciate your ambition and your dream, he will not support you. But I have the support of my husband, and we are able to keep the home together. Make sure that his food is given. Make sure the kids are well looked after. And make sure the husband is well looked after at all times. And don't grudge. try to give myself to people in terms of needs. I try to recognize people's needs, and at the moment of that need, I try to help. And it's a legacy I try to sound to my kids at all times. Recognize needs at that point and do it. Because at the point that you recognize it, if you don't offer the assistance, it may not be meaningful again. But if at the time that a need arises and you can do it, promptly do it. And I cannot manage people who are not sincere. I cannot. And that is the only thing that bothers me about life. And once I find out that they are not one way, I make my U-turn and I don't go back again. And that's the one thing I have learned, I have seen, and I'm trying to learn from Mr. President Bola Tinubu. The way he can switch from being so hot and then swim as if nothing happened and carry on. That is tough for me. And I hope I'll be able to, within the space remaining, I'll be able to copy that. At the same time, I like hardworking. I recognize people who are hardworking, who are intelligent, and I recognize people who are hardworking and need to be helped in terms of training to be a better person. And I like fun. Now let me start with that girl child. That girl child is not so common again. At least most female children are educated now. Outside Lagos, girl child is a big reference. Yeah, I think everybody should be given equal chance to make a life, and a life worth living and contented with. Because if you don't have enough drive and motivation, then life becomes static and you just wear it out and go. But I believe that for women, don't let the men scare you off. You are equally hardworking and intelligent. Expose yourself, but don't mess yourself around. Don't get corrupt. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And there's one good prayer. Everybody that knows me, and I always say, my God is a just God. His judgment is always fair. So whoever hurts you, attacks you, leave them to God. He's a fair God. The judgment of God will come. Just move on and pray that in your lifetime, that judgment comes up. My favorite food, I like eba and ewedu. I'm an expert in cooking. I love cooking, and I tell you, I can challenge anybody to come and compete with me. On that level, I score a good card. But I love fresh fish, with ewedu and eba. I'm not too much of an amala fan, and my favorite color is green. Or it's green, but with that green, I love bright colors. Even jewelry, it has to be bright for me, but still worn in a conservative way. As loud as whatever I pick may be, I still give it a conservative umbrella. I love to dance. I'm a good dancer. I love to socialize. I'm a good mixer, but highly disciplined.
Muhammad Yunus was born on the 28th of June 1940 in the village of Batwa, Chittagong, a British Indian colony which is currently known as Bangladesh. He attended Lama Bazar Primary and Secondary School in his village and passed the matriculation examination into Chittagong Collegiate School, where he ranked 16th out of 39,000 students. After his graduation in 1961, Yunus joined the Bureau of Economics as a research assistant and was later appointed lecturer of economics at the Chittagong College. During that time, he also set up a profitable packaging factory on the side. In 1965, he received a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States, where he obtained his PhD in economics from the Vanderbilt University Graduate Program in Economic Development. Between 1969 and 1972, after his keen education excellence of apex heights and proportions in the United States, he returned home and was appointed professor of economics at the University of Chittagong. He was eventually appointed onto the board of directors to the United Nations Foundation, where he served for 33 years. When Bangladesh suffered a famine in 1974, Yunus felt he had to do something for the very poor. In his country, he founded the Grameen Bank. His motivation was to create economic and social development for the very poor, giving long-term loans to those who wanted to start small enterprises to pay back when they can. The aim to help was to get many of them out of poverty. For this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Muhammad Yunus is a recipient of numerous international awards for his ideas and endeavors, including the Humanitarian Award in 1993, World Food Prize in 1994, Independence Day Award in 1987, Bangladesh's highest award, the King Hussein Humanitarian Leadership Award in 2000. He was also awarded the Volvo Environment Prize in 2003, Nikkei Asia Prize for Regional Growth in 2004, Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom Award in 2006, as well as the SOUQ Peace Prize in the same year. All humans are born entrepreneurs, he would always fondly say. His heart showed through his everyday life.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ News Television. This is the World News. We're reaching you live from our studios in Lagos. I am Olumide Shokoya. Let's begin with today's top stories. President Bola Tinubu signs Electoral Act 2026 into law ahead of 2027 elections amid concerns over result transmission. Lagos State government has defended its decision to restrict minibuses, popularly known as Korokwe, from operating on the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. Ivory Coast is considering reducing its price it pays farmers for cocoa beans to align with Ghana. Indonesian and U.S. companies on Wednesday signed deals worth $38.4 billion ahead of Indonesian president meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. And in sport news, Werder Bremen have confirmed striker Victor Boniface will not play again this season, despite returning to light training. We'll bring you details shortly. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law. The president signed the bill on Wednesday, days after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. The signing took place at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, around 5 p.m., with principal officers of the National Assembly in attendance. Recall that the National Assembly had on Tuesday passed the Electoral Act 2026 bill. Now, the amendment comes amid intense public debate over the real-time transmission of election results. Last week, protests rocked the National Assembly complex as civil society organizations and some opposition figures mounted sustained pressure on the National Assembly to mandate live transmission of results from polling units directly to INEC's central server.
I followed keenly what you are doing. The essence of democracy is to have, very solid brainstorming discussions committed to national development and nation building, the stability of the nation. It's not as important as the history aspect of this. What is crucial is the fact that you manage the process to the extent there will be no confusion, no disenfranchisement of Nigerians, and we are all going to see democracy flourish. It is time that we have confidence in our system. No matter how good a system is, it's managed by the people, promoted by the people, and the result is finalized by the people. In fact, for final results, you are not going to be talking to the computer, you are going to be talking to human beings who will announce the final results. And when you look at the crux of various arguments, maybe Nigeria should question our broadband capability. How technically are we today? How technically will we be tomorrow to answer the call of, either real time or no? And as long as you appear personally as a manual voter in any polling booth, but ballot paper is given to you manually, you decide in a corner and fingerprint, thumbprint the party of your choice, you cast your vote without hindrance and any interference. Ballots are subsequently counted manually, sorted and counted manually. It's just the arithmetic accuracy that is entered into from easy. It's still manual, essentially. The transmission of that manual result is what we're looking at. And we need to avoid glitches. I'm glad you did. Interference, unnecessary hacking in this age of, computer inquisitiveness. Nigeria will be there. We will flourish. We will continue to nurture this democracy for the fulfillment of our dream for prosperity and stability of our country. I thank all of you very much.
Nigeria's leading telecommunications operators have dismissed claims by some National Assembly members that the country lacks the infrastructure for real-time electronic transmission of election results. The telcos under the umbrella of the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, ALTEN, challenged the Senate to rely on verified data from the industry regulator, which is the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, rather than making broad claims about inadequate infrastructure. Benga Adebayo, ALTEN's chairman, said over 70% of the country is covered by 3G and 4G network. 5G has reached about 11% coverage, while the remaining areas are on 2G. According to him, even in reality, 2G is strong enough to transmit results electronically. He said telecom operators cannot have set a blanket ban on electronic transmission based on half-truths about infrastructure and investment. Now, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, has urged central banks and development finance institutions across Africa to spearhead industrialization while safeguarding climate resilience and financial stability. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, the CBN said Cardoso spoke at the Egypt 30 by 30 program hosted by the Central Bank of Egypt in collaboration with International Finance Corporation. He stressed that Africa must adopt a dual strategy that combines economic growth with environmental sustainability. According to him, the continent must industrialize, create jobs, and expand opportunities, while also decarbonizing and strengthening resilience against climate-related shocks. Telecommunications operators in Nigeria recorded a sharp rise in fiber optics cable damage in January 2026, with incidents increasing by 900% compared to December 2025, according to official data. Analysis of reports published by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, shows fiber counts raised from 4 cases in December 2025 to 40 incidents in January 2026, marking one of the steepest month-on-month spike in recent years. Now, the surge occurred despite the federal government's 2024 designation of telecom infrastructure as critical national information infrastructure, a policy intended to shield network assets from vandalism and accidental damage. The Lagos State government has defended its decision to restrict minibuses, popularly known as Korope, from operating the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, following the protest by drivers who blocked parts of the corridor on Tuesday. In a statement on Tuesday, the special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, described the protest as disruptive and contrary to agreements previously reached with transport stakeholders. Now, according to Giwa, the Lekki-Ekpe axis has been redesignated as a mass transit and regulated transport corridor under the State Bus Reform Initiative aimed at replacing informal minibus operations with structured, high-capacity bus services. He said the restriction followed the December 2025 rollout of medium and high-capacity buses on the corridor, adding that the reform is intended to enhance safety, efficiency, and economic sustainability within Lagos' public transport system. The Association of Power Generation Company, APGC, has rejected allegations of institutionalized extortion leveled against power firms by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, describing the claims as misleading and unfair to operators struggling to keep electricity flowing amid deep financial challenges. Now, in a statement signed by the association's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Joy Ogaji, the group said the recent comment credited to the NLC President Joe Ajaero misrepresented the realities of Nigeria's electricity market and undermined efforts to stabilize the sector. This is coming against the backdrop of the NLC President's public warning that power companies were engaged in institutionalized extortion and that government support for industry amounted to a hidden subsidy designed to settle the boys. Now, the generation companies, Genco, said such characterization was a simplistic and inflammatory narrative that ignored the complex problems facing electricity generation. Still to come in the news, China is seeking to turn tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump into strategic advantage by reshaping global trade ties. This is World News on SOUQ Business News. We'll be right back.
Wale Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded two theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died. Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
Many thanks for staying with us on the World News. Ivory Coast is considering reducing the price it pays for farmers for cocoa beans to align with Ghana, according to two government sources. Now, the move comes as the world's top cocoa producers grapple with falling global prices and mounting pressure on their marketing system. Senior Ivorian officials said that all options remain under review as government debates whether to follow Ghana's lead. Accra has already slashed its farm gate price by 28.6% for the remainder of the 2025-2026 main crop season, in coordination with Abidjan as both countries adjust to declining market prices. South Africa's upcoming budget must deliver on debt targets to preserve confidence in public finances, and adopting a fiscal anchor would provide key assistance, said the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Establishing a clear, well-designed fiscal rule based on prudent debt targets can help encourage discipline, build trust in policies, and reduce borrowing costs, the Washington-based lender said in a country focus published on Thursday. Now, Bangladesh Prime Minister Tariq Rahman has pledged to stabilize prices during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, strengthen the rule of law, and pursue economic and infrastructure reforms after his party landslide victory in parliamentary elections. Rahman, 60, was sworn in on Tuesday, taking office at a critical moment for Bangladesh. He is the son of former Prime Minister Khalid Zia and late President Ziaur Rahman. Now, the new leader faces pressing tasks, including restoring political stability, rebuilding investor confidence, and reviving key sectors such as garments, following the 2024 uprising that led to the exit of Sheikh Hasina. China is seeking to turn tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump into a strategic advantage by reshaping global trade ties to shield its $19 trillion economy from prolonged American pressure. According to an examination by Newsman, Beijing is leveraging on uncertainty around the U.S. trade policy to deepen integration with major economic blocs. These include the European Union, Gulf states, and a Trans-Pacific Trade Pact. The efforts involve accelerating negotiations about 20 trade agreements, many of which had been under discussion for years. Now, the strategy comes despite certain concerns among partners over China's industrial overcapacity, limited market access, and weak domestic demand. Now, Hamas is consolidating control over the Gaza Strip by appointing loyalists to key administrative roles, collecting taxes and paying salaries, according to an Israeli military assessment cited by Newsman and sources within the enclave. Now, the group's sustained influence over major power structures in Gaza has heightened skepticism about the validity of U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed peace plan. Now, the initiative calls for Hamas to disarm the exchange and Israeli military withdrawal from the territory. Analysts say the development complicates diplomatic effort and underscores the deep division shaping the conflict. Bill Gates pulled out of India's AI Impact Summit hours before his scheduled keynote address on Thursday, dealing another blow to the flagship event already marred by organization lapses. Now, a robot row and the delegate complained over traffic disruption. Gates' absence followed by another high-profile conciliation by NVIDIA's Jason Huang adds to a difficult opening for the summit, billed as the first major artificial intelligence forum in the global south, where India has sought to position itself as a leading voice in worldwide AI governance. Now, the Gates Foundation said the billionaire will not deliver his address to ensure the focus remains on the AI summit's key priorities. Only days ago, the foundation had dismissed rumors of his absence and insisted he was on track to attend. Still to come in the news, Volodymyr Zelensky has said Ukraine and Russia are close to finalizing a document outlining how a potential ceasefire would be monitored. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Ilegunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer, he was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli, and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
Welcome back to the World News. Indonesian and U.S. companies on Wednesday signed deals worth $38.4 billion ahead of Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto's meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump to sign a final trade pact, the Indonesian government said in a statement. The 11 deals signed with a dinner for Prabowo, hosted by U.S. Chamber of Commerce, were for partnerships in mining, energy, agribusiness, textile, furniture, and technology sectors. Now, according to the statement, Prabowo said the deals were among the implementing agreement to the U.S.-Indonesian trade deal that he is due to sign on Thursday with Trump, adding that it would help reduce Indonesia's trade surplus with the U.S. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said he would pursue strategic partnerships with China during a next week visit as Europe reassesses trade ties while the United States leans on tariffs. Speaking at his party's Ash Wednesday event in western city of Trier, Merz said Germany has a strategic interest in working with partners willing to shape the future together and safeguard prosperity and social stability. The trip is expected to focus on future cooperation between Europe and the world's second largest economy amid shifting global trade dynamics. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said Ukraine and Russia are close to finalizing a document outlining how a potential ceasefire would be monitored following U.S. brokered peace talks in Geneva on Wednesday. Speaking on Piers Morgan's Uncensored, Zelensky noted that while discussions on ceasefire monitoring had advanced, progress on broader political issues remained slower. He added that leaders from both sides could attempt to resolve the most contentious matter, territorial control, through direct negotiations as efforts continue to end the 4-year conflict. Now in sport news, Werder Bremen have confirmed that on-loan Nigerian striker Victor Boniface will not play this season despite returning to light training after a lengthy injury layoff. Boniface, 25, joined the Bundesliga side on loan from Bayer Leverkusen last summer. He sustained a knee injury during a training session in December and underwent surgery in January in SOUQ, Austria. Now, the procedure was carried out by knee specialist Prof. Dr. Christian Fink, and the forward has since begun gradual rehabilitation. However, the club has ruled him out for the remainder of the campaign as he continues recovery. Still in sport, former two-time UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya has described his upcoming fight against Joe Pyeth at the UFC Fight Night 271 on Seattle on March 28 as the biggest in his life. Now, Adesanya, returning after a year out of the octagon and on a 3-fight losing streak, said he feels unstoppable and views the bout as a personal milestone rather than just a competitive matchup. It's the biggest fight in his life in another way, not like it is for him. But now, according to him, he said top doings more than just a lot of guys who are even champions. And that's a wrap on the news, but before we go, here's a recap of today's top stories. President Bola Tinubu signs Electoral Act 2026 into law ahead of 2027 election amid concerns over election transmission. The Lagos State government has defended its decision to restrict minibuses, popularly known as Korope, from operating the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. While Ivory Coast is considering reducing the price it pays farmers for cocoa beans to align with Ghana. Indonesia and U.S. companies on Wednesday signed deals worth $38.4 billion ahead of Indonesian president meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. And in sport news, Werder Bremen have confirmed Victor Boniface will not play again this season despite returning to light training. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media page at SOUQ News TV. I am Olumide Shokoya. Thanks for watching.
Just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, this POS matter don't pass Joko. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Uyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Ovia, one of the most influential and successful businessmen in Nigeria, who has made a mark in the financial system. He is the founder and chairman of Zenith Bank, one of Africa's largest and most profitable banks. He has been described by Forbes Africa as the godfather of banking in Nigeria.
My name is Jim Ovia. I'm chairman of Zenith Bank, and I thank you all for listening to me.
This illustrious son of Africa was one of the financial leaders who revolutionized the banking sector in Nigeria. Let's take a close look into the life, background, career, and achievements of this enigma, Jim Ovia. Jim Ovia was born on November 4, 1951 in Agbo, Delta State, Nigeria, to a large family as the second son of Chief Obi Olihe of Agbobi in Delta State. Being one from a humble background, Jim attended local schools as he had lost his father at the tender age of 4. His widowed mother, together with his older brother, saw him through school. He had secondary education at Ika Grammar School in Agbo. Due to his interest in business and technology, he proceeded to the United States to study business administration at Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, USA, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in 1977. He furthered to University of Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, and bagged a master's degree in business administration in 1979. Jim Ovia is also an alumnus of the prestigious Harvard Business School. Jim Ovia worked briefly as a clerk in Union Bank in 1973 before proceeding for tertiary studies. Upon acquiring immense business knowledge from international institutions, he returned to Nigeria, his home country, and began a career in banking. He continued at this for years, working for banks such as Lion Bank, Merchant Bank of Africa, and International Merchant Bank. After many years in the banking industry, in 1990, Jim came together with some colleagues to found one of Africa's largest and most profitable bank, Zenith Bank. The bank was established with a vision to provide excellent customer service, innovative and technology-driven banking. Zenith Bank flourished as it drew customers who sought excellence in financial services. What started with an asset of $4 million and about 50 staff has grown into over $24 billion in assets and shareholders' funds of more than $3 billion as of June 2022. Zenith Bank is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange. Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as Chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes and economic instability.
We will build our own roads to our branches. If we're building branches in some cities, towns where the roads are not good enough. We have also bought power plants, generating sets to power electricity into our building. When we do all this, we also even had dug borehole to supply water to the building. When we do all this, what I personally call it is BYOI, bring your own infrastructure or build your own infrastructure.
Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes. Bank has diversified its services to include insurance, pensions, stockbroking, and investment banking. The bank has won awards and recognition for its performance, governance, innovation, and social responsibility, inspired by its chairman's belief in giving back to community.
Really, it's my special pleasure, my honor indeed, for this opportunity offered by AAI to be awarded in the category of Business Leadership Award for 2017.
As an entrepreneur, Jim Ovia has made investments in sectors other than banking. They include oil and gas, telecommunication, real estate, power generation, media, and most recently, education. He is the founder and chancellor, James Hope University, Lekki, Lagos State, which has been approved by the National Universities Commission, NUC, to offer postgraduate degrees in business courses. Jim Ovia is a man who believes in giving back to society. He has engaged in philanthropic works through his foundations, Mankind United to Support Total Education, MUSTE, and Youth Empowerment, ICT Foundation. These foundations award scholarships to indigenous students and promote information and communication technology in Nigeria through various initiatives. Ovia has made donations towards courses and institutions. They include Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, Nigerian Internet Group, NIG, Lagos State University, and National Information Technology Advisory Council, just to mention a few. In recognition of his contributions, Jim Ovia is a recipient of many honors and awards. In 2012, the University of Benin awarded him an honorary doctorate degree. Former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020